Where's my chatfish? Where are they? Where are they hiding? Hello, chat, and welcome all to another Bunchcast. Today, we're going to be talking about why is Dawn of War not definitive. This game is not definitive. It's not good enough. I've come to that conclusion after about a full campaign playthrough and messing around with it a bit more. But they failed to make Dawn of War definitive. And it's only by a slight margin. And that's why we're going to talk about it, because it's worth talking about, because they need to fix these things. This game is not a loss. It's not a wipe. It's not like, oh, you shouldn't consider picking it up. It's just there's things you need to know about it that are problematic with it, that make it not good, you know?
Enough. Good enough.
Not rebindable, no rebindable hotkeys for starters. Like, that's something that bothers me to no end, by the way. As a left-handed person, by the way, this makes this borderline unplayable.
I think you are simply being punished for your sins.
So yeah, welcome, Chatfish. We're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about why is this not definitive and what they need to do in order to make this a better experience, because Dawn of War Definitive Edition is not doing well. It is not a great remaster. It's not a perfect remaster. It's a flawed remaster. They dropped the ball. And so let's quickly start getting into it. First thing is that I've noticed with a lot of people in the reviews of this game was no rebindable keys. Yeah, as somebody who's left-handed, it basically makes the game impossible to play on like a higher spectrum of things. So if you want to get super competitive, you're shit out of luck. What is another reason why this is not a definitive game? Well, it boasts that it has all 4 campaigns. It has Dawn of War 1, it has Winter Assault, it has Dark Crusade, it has Soulstorm. But when you play skirmish or multiplayer, there is no options in here to turn it into Dawn of War 1 or 2 or sorry, Winter Assault or Dark Crusade. It's all Soulstorm.
You can only play in Soulstorm.
You can only play in Soulstorm.
Oh, that's awful.
And this is a hard sell, because I hate Soulstorm. I hate it. Yeah, I tried playing a skirmish, and I literally couldn't stomach it because of it. It's got the Soulstorm balance. I just don't like Soulstorm. I don't like how Soulstorm works. I don't like how it feels. I just prefer the older Dawn of Wars in terms of the multiplayer balance. And the fact that you can't experience it as it was meant to be is really bad. Now, we're going to compare and contrast this to another game that has a definitive edition, right? Command & Conquer has its own definitive edition for the Command & Conquer Remaster, and it doesn't suffer from the same problem. In fact, if you go to cncnet.org, the unofficial definitives for Tiberian Sun and Red Alert 2 allow you to play in any version of the expansion pack, meaning that before Yuri's Revenge rebalance, before Firestorm rebalance, you can play before those things are the way they are now. Now, I do want to say that this is not a bad definitive edition. It just pales in comparison to Age of Empires 2 definitive, or Age of Mythology Retold. This is sadly one of the weaker definitive editions I've seen for a game in a good while. It has what looks like AI-generated art for portraits. Now, they do say that they're going to replace those, but like some of that
shouldn't have been in there in the first place, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and I also have debatable questions as to whether or not they lie on the Steam store page, because you're supposed to list that you make use of AI for anything. And if you don't do that, you're technically in violation of Steam's rules. Yeah, I don't see it listed here, because you should actually list that, and I think they've kind of hidden that, which is a bit sussy. I think that's technically a violation of Steam's actual rules, if that's actually true. Now, a lot of the textures, they did hand work, but the fact that they launched it in this state where it's got a lot of placeholder things, it's concerning. And the portraits are the biggest notable contender for this fact, because the portraits in the game look like that, and it technically breaks Steam's terms. So yeah, you're supposed to list whether or not you make use of those tools, because people will not buy games based on that information. And so it's a bit misinformation there. We also need to quickly point out that this game is floundering. It's got 2,880 reviews, but it's going downwards. And it's been steadily going downwards since its launch. And it's one of the things where it's not because it's a bad game. It's not because it's bad. A lot of things it does good, like the camera reworking, the 64-bit system stuff. But this game wasn't ready. There's no Steam Workshop. There's a lot of fixes to the campaign, which are great, by the way, for vehicles. Like the Sentinel actually works in the Guards campaign now, because before it didn't quite work right. And like how las cannons work, they actually function and do damage now. And the melee hit detection bugs, those are kind of fixed, and movement. A lot of improvements here, but it's not definitive. Meaning that it's excuse me. It's so close to being perfect, but not there. And why it's important to point this out is because they need to fix these problems. Not just these problems, but they also need to take a look at Age of Empires 2. Let's look at the king of our RTSs right now, right? Age of Empires 2. The indisputable God, King, Lord, everyone take a knee, as you must, because this fucking thing is colossal. 144,000 reviews, 94% positive, trailing upwards to 95%, which is going to push it over into overwhelmingly positive. This is exactly how you'd make a definitive edition. This is what they should be aspiring to be. This is perfection made manifest. This is beautiful. So let's talk about what some of the differences are between Age of Empires 2 Definitive and what makes it a definitive edition, adversely to Dawn of War as a definitive edition, right? Firstly, rebindable keys. Most basic bitch things, you know, imaginable. Secondly, the new mechanics, new nations, new features, new campaigns, new voice-acted campaigns, new cutscenes, and co-op mode added to several of the campaigns already that is currently still being updated and adding more campaigns to that co-op list. The Age of Empires 2 Definitive is unironically, if you want to experience an old RTS in the modern day, there's nothing better than Age of Empires 2 Definitive. It is Microsoft's, or World Edge as you want to call it, and Forgotten Empires, like crowning jewel achievement. This game is amazing. It's incredible. It's mind-blowingly good in terms of how good this was handled, how perfect this is, in terms of how to do a definitive edition right. I just can't get over it. And I'm not the biggest Age of Empires fan, by the way, but this is how you do this is how you do a definitive edition for a game. You do it right. You build on top of it. Not only do you refine and polish what is flawed, you build more with it, right? And they did that here. They did that here quite well. So much, in fact, that I really think that Relic needs to take a page from them, because Relic is just depressing. 76% positive for a timeless classic of a game. Dawn of War is one of the best RTSs ever made. Dawn of War 2 is a bit of a letdown, but it doesn't need a remaster. And I've already seen people calling for Dawn of War 2 to get a remaster, and that's bullshit. Dawn of War 2 doesn't need a remaster, doesn't need a definitive edition. It's fine the way it is. Dawn of War 1 needed it because A, it barely ran on modern systems. B, it had a box window. It had no widescreen support. And so the most bare minimum of functions and features, it barely worked. It barely worked. Dawn of War 2 you can boot up today. You can play it seamless. Do not allow them, as developers, to just skip over to 2, which does not need a remaster, because I can tell you what's going to happen if they do that. If they just remaster Dawn of War 2, it will be a disaster. Why? Because what needs to be remastered? The textures and visuals look fine the way they are. And so if you start touching them, you know what's going to happen? It's going to look hideous. It's going to look hideous.
No kips. They'll remake it in Unreal Engine 5.
Oh.
And they'll make it so that the game runs like ass.
So, yeah, Dawn of War is not definitive. Do I recommend it? Yes, if you're a Dawn of War fan, I do. But there are certain things you should be aware of. No rebindable keys. Oh my god. Like kicking the testicles is what that is. If you're left-handed, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, I actually agree with that. That's pretty base.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, whatever, you little sluts.
Get fucked to left-hander.
Like, that means, like, on a competitive scene, like, level, like, Kib is fucked. Kib's like, I gotta move my arm across my keyboard.
Kibs?
When I play RTSs, I try to put a little bit of effort in. But the big thing is that...
That's not what competitive means.
Shut up, you little slut. Now, more importantly, the big thing here is that they gotta really fucking get this under control, because it's not definitive. It's not even just the rebindable keys problem. It's more than that. It's like little things like you can only play Soulstorm, like in the multiplayer. And let's look. I will show you together, right? So if I wanted to play multiplayer, right? I want to make a game. We'll call it Kibs, and we'll call it, you know, a bunch of random letters and numbers. Okay, and we're gonna do a map. Boop. There's nothing in here that sets it to the mode I want it to be. Like, it's just Soulstorm! I hate Soulstorm! I hate Soulstorm!
Have you considered that you should learn to like Soulstorm, Kibs?
Oh, no, I don't want to. So that's one of the biggest problems I have with this right now. Like, right now, you cannot play anything but Soulstorm in multiplayer. The campaigns, you can play any version right here. And what happens when you boot any of these campaigns, by the way, is it will reboot the game. So watch this. If I click Winter Assault, it's going to do a loading screen because it's actually just relaunching like a different version of itself. And then it takes you straight to the campaign. There's no multiplayer. There's no skirmish. This isn't how you access it. It's all front-loaded to the front end, but you can't actually choose if you want to do the other versions of the game. You can't play them.
It looks ugly to me. The fucking head looks weird.
Oh, they tried to keep it as in line with the original. It's still low poly, but they touched up the textures. But the wrinkle textures are a bit weird.
The retexturing doesn't look good.
They also added weapon gloss, which I don't... A part of me does... I don't know how I feel about that. Like, should the weapon look glossy? Like, I don't think so. It shouldn't look half a sheen. It should be dirty and grungy. You know what I mean? Like, let's just close this and let's boot one of the older one. Let's see how that looks by comparison. Because it just boggles me mind, it does. It boggles me mind. It's just weird. Yeah, you shouldn't have to go to the game files to change the keybinds. That's not good. No, Yinglis, that's not a cell. That's shut the fuck up. I'm gonna put you in timeout. Oh my god.
You know to ignore Yinglis. He's retarded.
So look at this. There's no sheen on it. Now if I go to the army painter, I can switch the races if I remember right, so I can set it to Space Marines. Now bear in mind, I've got a widescreen patch, and this is modded. This is the original.
Yeah, that looks better. It looks like they didn't even change the face on the newer one, actually.
Oh, it's got higher textures. I can tell that much. They tried to do exactly the way it was without changing it. But the weapon gloss is one of those things where it's like, this gun doesn't look like it's greasy now. Like, yeah, the textures are crappy, right? It's an old video game. But it doesn't look too crazy. And it looks very weird in the definitive edition, which is one of those things. And that's why this isn't doing very well. That's why I wanted to point that out, because the definitive edition is doing really poorly and is not actually selling that well. Not that many people are actually picking it up because they're actually like the huge turnoff, like the rewindable key thing is so big of a deal that like several people didn't pick it up. And the fact that it's just Soulstorm multiplayer, there goes 3/4 of sales, because some people just want to play Dawn of War 1's multiplayer balance. Some people want to play Winter Assault. And I think the large chunk of them would rather play Dark Crusade's balance because it was just better in Dark Crusade. Personal preference, that's mine as well. And it just felt better, like better balanced as a game. And the issue with that is that you can't play that. You can't do that. It's not a definitive edition, because Age of Empires 2 definitive is so much, how to put it, it's perfect in almost every way, and I hate it. Because I'm not even the biggest Age of Empires fan, okay? We'll boot this bad boy up. I only have 11 hours.
You just say that you should bow to Age of Empires.
You have to take a knee because it's the king. It's how you do it. It's how you make a definitive edition. Like, it's perfect and flawless in almost every way. And I hate it. Because it means that the standard for definitive is so high that you need to be able to get close to this. So this is Age of Empires 2 definitive, right? The main menu is literally just a re-illustrated version of the original main menu. I forget which artist they got. Yep. I think that's... I forget his name. He's one of the big artists. But he did these masterful paintings. It looks absolutely spectacular. They have all the campaigns. Like, literally.
Even
and
more
new campaigns. Like, there's fucking 3 kingdoms in this now. Like, there are so many campaigns. These are all the campaigns. Western Europe, Eastern Europe. And each of these things are fucking voice acted. Like, it just boggles my mind. Like, just a real quick demonstration.
February 19th.
And they're voice acted well.
This morning I woke to visions of fire and steel. These nightmares come more often, now that I've seen my beloved France eaten away by years of war. I wandered through camp, ignoring the new snowfall, but observing the wounds and weariness of every soldier under my command. Observing the desperation in their eyes. It was then that I first saw the girl. She told us that her name was Joan. She told us she was but a peasant who did not know how to ride or fight.
You see, like, the detail in that? And, like, how much, the care is in this? This isn't lazy in the slightest. There's even, like, new music, if I remember right. Like, the amount of factions you can play is wild, right? You can play pretty much all of them. But, like, the reason why I point to this is because, look at this. What's this? Oh, you could choose which version you want to play. Isn't that curious, chatfishes? Isn't that curious? So that's my biggest problem in contention with it, is that they also have mods, and their mods are done, by the way, so you can actually mod it. Now, Dawn of War Definitive will have workshop support, but it does not right now. And that's not good, because it just means that, how did you fucking botch an old game from like 2 decades ago? How did you fuck that up? Like, what the fuck? Like, you didn't even release all the features. And yeah, you're gonna do it later, but you launched it in a state that doesn't have everything. There's no rebindable keys. There's fucking, you know, there's gonna be bugs, and you're aware of those, you're fixing those, there's whatever. But, like, you can't choose, if you want to play Dark Crusade, you can't play Winter Assault, you can't play Classic Dawn of War. You just have to play Soulstorm. Ew. Gross. Like, why? Like, why? It's not definitive. And I don't know if there's any intention down the line to actually make it so that they're going to have those features. And so that's what I wanted to talk about in today's Bunchcast, because when we see a definitive edition, it's important that they do the bare minimum, right? Like, Command and Conquer did their remaster, which is right about... Goddamn, there are so many games, I forget which one's which. You know, if I just type in remaster, it'll be fucking faster. There it is. Right? This one, again, rebindable keys and all that. You can literally do all the things. Now, this one also sung to much higher praises overall. 90%. And again, that's because they didn't really tamper with it. They also have an ability for you to switch between the graphics, right? And it's there's nothing missing in this. There's even bonus, like, cuts and takes on, like, the production of the game. There's more music. They went above and beyond. That's the big thing I'm going for here, right? Above and beyond. Not only does this have the expansion pack Covert Ops, but it also has the PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and Sega Saturn secret missions that were exclusive to those consoles. Not only does it have that, but it also has, like, a bunch of bonus things, like features that weren't in the previous games. Like, it has a workshop functional and built into it. It's got, you know, literally bloopers, behind the scene cutscenes on, like, unlockables and concept art, so you can see, like, what it was before, how they were working on it, when they built it, because they literally dug through EA's archives to put this together. Dawn of War Definitive doesn't even have that. And so again, we have another, like, A grade here, and I'm saying A grade, like, remaster of how to do it. This is a remaster. This is a definitive. It has everything the base game had and more. And the issue is that the Dawn of War one does not have everything the base game had and more. It's missing 3/4 of the content. And the reason why it's missing 3/4 is, again, I have to fucking underscore that every time. But it's down to the fact that you cannot play Winter Assault. You cannot play Dawn of War 1. You cannot play Dark Crusade in the skirmish or in multiplayer. You just can't. And that sucks, because the game fundamentally changes in each expansion on how it works, right? And the original, you could spam, like, Terminators like they were fucking candy, right? That was just funny as fuck. It wasn't very balanced. In Soulstorm, you can't do that. You know, in Soulstorm, there's like new units that they added, but you don't really want to play with those, or you don't want to play with those races, or you don't want to play with the balance tweaks. You have to. And that's what's kind of annoying. Yeah, there's 48 campaigns in Age of Empires 2 Definitive. 48 campaigns. And new ones are on the horizon, by the way.
Now, considering that Dawn of War Definitive Edition was released unfinished, because they just stated that it is.
It's
Do you
not
think
done.
they're going to add the rest of the skirmishes in later?
I don't know. I didn't see, when I looked through it, I didn't see anything talking about it.
Do you think if people complain about it enough, will they do?
Those mods will not work. But it's cute that it sees them. If people complain about it, yes. That's why I want to raise awareness about this, because I think we should be complaining loudly. Because these are the kind of things, like, we need this to be better, right? Honestly, Relic shouldn't move on past Dawn of War 1, but they should do what Age of Empires 2 does, and give us a 5th expansion. I'm not kidding. Give us a 5th expansion. Add the Tyranids to the game, and add the Mechanicus in that expansion. Do it. Unironically. Why not? Age of Empires 2 does it. Age of Mythology does it. Why can't we do this? Why can't we have more? We deserve more. We've been loyal to this fucking franchise for fucking eons, right? We've been playing Dawn of War, we've been modding our Dawn of War games for eons, and so is the modding community. They need to give us what we deserve, in my opinion. And so I think it's fair to ask for more. I think that after they fix this up, they should give us the Winter Assault balance, the Dawn of War 1 balance, the Dark Crusade balance, so we can actually play those in multiplayer. But I think they should also just make an expansion to this and build this up even more and not move on past this. And then after this and after that, can then, with enough skill and experience, getting back in the saddle, make Dawn of War 3 again. Remake it from the ground up. And don't remaster Dawn of War 2. It does not need a remaster. It already has widescreen support. It already fucking works just fine on modern systems. It doesn't need a remaster. If it works, it doesn't need it. Leave it be. Leave it be. Not everything needs a remaster. And I think it's very important that we talk about that, because everybody that's going to start like pining for a Dawn of War 2 remaster, all you're doing is setting up Relic for failure. That's what you're doing. Relic can barely do this. What makes you think they can do the remaster?
I find it interesting, Kibbs, that you haven't taken into account of why you think they have made this definitive edition in the first place.
I already have
put out a better version, Kibbs.
And they have
made a better version.
They didn't put out a better version. Like, it's partially better. Like, the thing is, it's not just a wash. Dawn of War Definitive is worth picking up for the campaigns alone. However, you cannot play the other versions in skirmish or multiplayer, which is like a kick in the scrotum. It's like Mass Effect Legendary Edition not having multiplayer. It was like, what the fuck?
I think you're being a little too charitable, Gibbs. They know definitive editions are supposed to come with all the DLCs that have come before. That has been a staple forever. That's not a accident. That was deliberate choice on their part. They wanted to put out a definitive edition. That's why they put this game out. They don't care about what's in the definitive edition so far as the
Sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sort of feels like it's a checkbox and not that they actually care about it. And so, and I've watched those fucking interviews, and I'm like, honestly, I feel like I was lied to a little bit, because it's like, no, there isn't those things. Like, we kind of, like, it's not bad, but we kind of got, like, the bare minimum is what it feels like. At that. And even then, it feels like we got robbed a little bit, because, like, you can't play these three things. You can only play this in multiplayer. I hate this. This right here, worst thing ever. Soulstorm, garbage. I want that. I'll take this. I'll even settle for that, because it's old. I'll even settle for that. Oh god, what did they do to Gabriel Angelo? They basically took his textures and they redid them, but like exactly the same. And so it kind of looks a little weird, because you can't really tell what's going on with his wrinkles up here. Like, It looks like he looks kind of like a piece of cardboard that got wet, honestly, and somebody stepped on him. And somebody stepped on him. This company does make most of its money from pachinko machines. What?
Yeah.
This company makes money from pachinko machines?
Yes.
Relic?
Yep.
I don't think Relic has pachinko machines.
Pretty sure.
What?
I see.
Relic doesn't have pachinko machines?
I think this is being made up on the spot.
Yeah. That's Sega, and Sega has nothing to do with this.
No, it's Konami, you moron.
I don't care. It's all the same.
I'm
I'm
in the studio.
still fucking right. And the only moron here is you, Squealy.
Damn.
Sega.
Yeah.
Sega on these nuts.
So Relic doesn't have
Well,
pachinko
Sega-
machines.
Um.
Why would
Okay,
they?
isn't
That's
they've
fucking.
it's important to know that while Relic games have been tied into pachinko and patchy slot machines by other companies, particularly in the Japanese market,
Yes.
is it separate from the presence of a physical machine within the Relic studios? Why
Yeah,
is
they
it-
don't-
Why is it referred
Yeah,
to
no,
that
it's
way?
only Sega has them. Yeah, no, I was right. Sega
Sega's
Sammy
owned by-
Holdings bought the
Sega
rights
owns,
when THQ liquidated.
Yep.
So that's how they have pachinko. Okay.
Yeah, they don't actually have pachinko machines. Because Relic
far as
doesn't own
Sega.
any. They're not anymore.
Well, Legends of Terrestria have pachinko
Relic's
machines.
independent.
Well, they have pachinko machines, kids.
Had. HAD period.
Well, Legends of Terrestria have pachinko machines.
No!
Why not?
How much for
Why
you
not?
to add pachinko machines?
Go away. Go away.
Go away.
Fucking pachinko
Nothing-
machines.
Nothing witty, just stop it.
Oh, start screaming.
I don't like pachinko.
They put what? I'm learning things the Chatfish say. Wait, now the idea is out there. It's going to happen, says Barry. Whoops. Mistakes happen. So is this just a remaster of all the games? Was it a total remaster or just a polish? It's sort of like a partial remaster. It's not even done because they haven't finished it and they just put it out to market, not as early access, but it's complete. But you can play any of these campaigns right here. Like if we want to play Dark Crusade, watch. I'll click it and I'll boot it up and you can just load right into Dark Crusade. Bada bing, bada bam. It'll play its cutscene.
The planet Cronus.
The cutscene's in widescreen
beset on
support,
all sides
entire
by
res.
tides of war. This one,
You can choose your dude, and like boom, you're done, right?
the space.
And there you go, boom. You can just play any of them. The Space Marines are attack.
Welcome to the single-player
Fuck
Deep
off.
province
No.
of the Stronghold, or Home Province.
I don't want to play. I'm talking about this. It's a stream. Hold up a second. What? Did you see that? Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't factor in the wide screens. There's little things like this, but this is minor. But it's like, okay, there's these little gaps on the side. That's supposed to dark out the entire area, but, yeah. Oh god, wrong button. There we go. But yeah. So, that's what I want to talk about for Dawn of War. Definitive. It's not definitive, and I think we kind of deserve way better than this. Well, I'm not, like, upset about my purchase. I also kind of feel like it doesn't replace the other ones. And that's not good, because I shouldn't want to keep Winter Assault installed and Dark Crusade installed. But now I have to if I want to play those in multiplayer. Because I physically cannot play these unless I play that. Otherwise, it's just Soulstorm balance. And I just really think that they botched this pretty badly. Because, yeah, well, if a lot of people play for the campaign, well, now if I want to play a multiplayer, it's like, well, now we all have to play Soulstorm. And it's like, well, that's just fucking terrible. But what about the mods, kids? What about the mods? Grabs Connor, throws them out the window. Mods will be coming. They will be doing workshop support, apparently, but they're just not ready for it. They marketed the game as if the mods would launch, and we tested this. That was a fucking lie. So, it didn't, they don't work. At least, when I had Fuzzy test all of his mods on the back end, and none of them worked. We'll try, because I have some installed already from the previous version, but I guarantee you that they're not going to be a problem. Oh god, that's not gonna. Oh, it's gonna crash. It's gonna shoot itself, chat. Be strong. Be strong. But it feels like a cash grab marketing team. It just feels like they could have done more, is what it feels like. And a lot of people are just pivoting this as like, oh god, it actually ran. Oh my god, that's a miracle. It's not widescreen though. Look at the sword goes off the screen. Oh my god, I got one of the mods to work. Holy shit, take that, Fuzzy! Will it actually? Now granted, this wasn't the one he was testing, so it might vary depending on which versions. Oh hey, the widescreen's back.
Welcome to the single player campaign.
Can you please fuck off?
Province is your stronghold or
Is that... yeah, fuck off. Will it shit itself when it launches? Holy shit. The mod we had, Fuzzy tried, we was trying, what was it? It was for Dark Crusade. It did not function, and he tried several times to get it to work. Holy shit. Turns out one of them works. Maybe. Why is it worse? It's more of a subjective thing, Barahim. So, Soulstorm has different balance compared to each version and installation of Dawn of War. And so if you don't like Soulstorm's balance of how units feel, then you're not going to like Skirmish or multiplayer, because you're going to want to play Dark Crusade. I personally prefer Dark Crusade, because I don't like having those other units. Oh god. This does not quite work, though.
Beneficent one.
Are the textures old? Yeah, they're not the new textures, I don't think. God, it's inverted. Okay, so some mods do. Sorta. Kinda. Not really. Oh, God. So not quite is the answer to that question. Okay. It's a little bit janky. You'd think we'd be better off booting that through just what it was. I assume the modders will probably put out patches that'll fix that. Oh god, I always press the wrong goddamn buttons. No, not yes. And then you exit mod and it takes you back to the base game. But yeah, eventually once that's all functioning, it'll be better. But that's what I'm talking about, though. Like, we need to be able to play those in skirmish and multiplayer so that we can do the other thing. Technically, the game is old, early or late era of the RTS era engine. The engine didn't age well, or it was the strongest engine. Tiamat, are you fucking high right now? I can't high right. Whatever. But either way,
nor was it the strongest engine. Is what I think what he meant.
That was my subject. So unless anybody else brought anything else, that'll end the Bunchcast.
No, I don't really have anything for today.
I don't think anybody would.
Give me time.
What, you had all week? You had all week.
You didn't show
Also
up into the...
working all week, Kib.
Yeah.
Some of us have jobs.
All right. So yeah, it was gonna be short. This is what happens when like nobody else shows up and then nobody brings anything.
Well, that was because you.
Do you want some about Battlefield 6, Kib?
I
playing
guess
that a lot.
Could.
Talk about new games. Shit,
This is
kid.
new. I guess we could talk about Battlefield 6, like, I guess. So, Battlefield 6...
Talk about the player drop-off when the beta ended.
Oh my god. It lost 98% of its player base. Alright, so, I guess we'll just fucking ramshackle this bad boy together, because, yeah, I brought a topic. They didn't. Now they're making me do all the work again. So, Battlefield 6 beta did launch, and it's surprisingly competent. It's actually very good. It's exactly where Battlefield should be going, for the most part, save for a few things, except I do have some minor grievances with it. The first thing we need to talk about is the map sizes. They seem to have
They're too small.
Yeah, they seem to be so scared of making big maps that the maps are actually all too small. And because they're all too small, it's almost impossible to sneak around or do anything now. And so the maps are too tiny now.
I've heard part of that, at least according to this idea, is that they're trying to fucking court like the COD type players or the battle royale players.
I've
And
heard
it's just like
more accurate reports that it's because 2046 was too big, and so they're scared because of how bad that did, and so they're actually
To be
going in the
fair, both
complete
could be true.
opposite. They're going the complete opposite direction due to the fact that it is too big.
Because I will say, like, playing the beta right now, Assault, because the maps are so small, is extremely dominant. Which is, it's
So,
understandable. That
To answer Sir MV's question, he says, if one was interested in the definitive edition, should one get the upgrade or the separate game? You should consider getting it just for the campaign alone, but I would recommend, and I think I'm going to leave a negative review as well with the reasons stated until they fix it. I think if you do get it, you should make a negative review, and you should talk about the issues you have with it, like rebindable keys, or maybe, you know, literally the fact that you can only play Soulstorm in multiplayer. Like, the thing is, it's not bad, but we need to make negative noise so that the developers know that we want these things fixed and addressed. I honestly think that they should go a step beyond just the bare minimum, because that's the bare minimum, in my opinion. I think they should go above and do what Age of Empires 2 Definitive does, or Age of Mythology Retold. Age of Mythology Retold is getting a Japanese campaign. Fully voice acted, fully made, brand new faction for a game that's been dead for eons. Age of Empires 2 got an expansion literally, like, I think last year, not that long ago. Like, every year gets one. And that game is, like, even older. It's like, what, almost 30 years old now or something? Like, it's fucking ancient. It's getting new expansions with voice acting and new factions. It's fucking wild. And not only that, by the way, Age of Empires 2 Definitive, also, I almost forgot to mention this, they also added new sprites to each one of the factions that they never did in the originals because they had more time and money. And so all the factions have custom sprites that are unique to their cultures, making them more divergent from other factions. They did not have that in the OG. They, like I've said, they did the bare minimum first, and then once they had succeeded at that, they went above and fucking beyond to do more. Like, it's absolutely wild. There's so many factions in it, and there's so much new sprite works and animations because they just kept adding it. Like, the Byzantine Empire used a lot of similar assets to every other Western European nation. Now, they have unique sprites. Like, that wasn't always that way. And they started doing that because they just wanted to go above and beyond. Age of Empires 2 Definitive is something that, it's not even like my cup of tea, but the reason why I hold it in such high regard is because it's impressive when you actually look at what they've done with it. Even if you're not an Age of Empires 2 fan, that is what we should be aspiring for when it comes to definitives and remasters. That's what we need. But yeah, so that's to answer your question there. So, back to Battlefield 6 real quickly. Battlefield 6 is shaping up to be probably one of the strongest battlefields with the most robust and advanced destruction system I've ever seen. Even more than Bad Company, as we've already confirmed that it can do what Bad Company can, but more. Like, you can level buildings. You can level lots of buildings. Now, I don't know if the large buildings like in Brooklyn can do a collapse state, where they totally collapse, but you can destroy a lot of them. You can destroy, like, bridges on them and stuff like that. There's, like, what do you call it? Those air bridges between skyscrapers, Bucky?
Sky Bridge.
Sky bridges. You can collapse and destroy that, and it'll fall to the ground. I think they need to push the destructibility a little harder, in my opinion, with these maps, but I also think they need to push the maps being a little bigger. Now, currently, what we've been told by pretty much everybody is that the bigger maps just haven't been revealed to us yet. I hope that's true. But the biggest map I've seen is that one set in, like, Tajikistan or whatever. And that's kind of big. But that's kind of like a middling map. That's, like, of what, like, the other battlefields are. They don't feel as
I was gonna
meaty.
say, I remember the fucking large maps of fucking, like, 3 and 4, and it's like, no.
The aircraft carrier
that's
map,
not a
yeah.
big map. That's not a fucking big map.
Or that
I'm
desert
sorry.
map in Battlefield 1 with the terrain. That's
Nope.
also pretty big, too. It's nice and meaty. So, yeah, I would like to see more maps be bigger in this. There's also a lot of netcode problems, but it is a beta, you know. That's going to happen. There's also a lot of small game modes that they've been focusing on here, but a lot of people, like me, have been pining for the bigger game modes. Like, bigger. Not smaller, bigger. Bigger.
Bigger.
Like, Rush is...
64v64.
That would be awesome. But Rush is currently 12v12. Like, Rush is tiny. It's a little baby mode. That's not very good. Excuse me. Gibbs likes them large and girthy. Yeah, I know, of course. You know, all my girthy maps. So, what the fuck? Well, it is what it is, chat bros. It is what it is. But yeah, the customization for the weapons and stuff. Now, I missed out on Battlefield 5 for the most part because I didn't really care for it. And the last Battlefield I truly played was Battlefield 1, and I did not play 2042 outside of the beta. And so I have really no opinion about 2042 or Battlefield 5, so I skipped those. But coming back to this, the weapon customization system here is much more robust. Like, you can customize a lot about your gun. Like, the optics, accessories, the barrel, the fucking grips and stuff, the magazine, even the ammunition types, the ergonomics if you want to use, like, different things to help with, like, semi-automatic stuff. But I don't really use semi-automatic. But you can customize those things. Even getting a secondary optic if you really want to trigger the shit out of me. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, it's hideous, Bucky. It's hideous.
Oh, you mean the offset reflex sight? Yeah.
No, thank you. That's disgusting. Oh, I hate that. Makes the gun look ugly. Also, you'll notice that they went back to the face coverings again. Notice how all the troops, their faces are obscured? You're just a soldier.
I noticed that with this one because what wasn't it last week's they didn't have the face covering? Or am I just actually imagining that?
The 2042 they didn't.
No, I mean last
beta.
Yeah, the last beta.
No, they did. They've had it from the beginning.
Then I'm insane then. Okay.
Yep. So the big thing here is that you're back to what you are. You are just a soldier, a cog in a machine. You're not some special little fucking snowflake, as you should be. Yeah, they got parts of their face sticking out.
I still wish they would just randomize, like if you're playing like Recon, right? It would just randomize the character model. I still wish that was a thing.
Well, I want to be able to actually do stuff with the character model. Like, I want to make all my soldiers men. I don't want to be a woman, because personal preference.
That's not up to you.
Yeah, I don't want to be a woman. And I also don't want them... I don't want to see their eyes. I actually want their goggles to be over their faces. Like, I want to be able to customize them a little bit more to make their face even more covered up. Because that's what Battlefield 3 and 4 had. And you could barely see their goddamn faces. Is what I remember it being.
It's almost like they were prepared for actual combat.
Now, Battlefield 1, you could see their faces, but they were all procedurally among, like, different troops. Like, if you played as Britain, like, and you're a medic, you played as a Raj troop because the Raj guys were medics for some reason. And then you played as, like, a different dude, then you were, like, a Scot or whatever.
To be fair, with BF1, they're trying to represent every faction that was participating in the war.
Yep, and so because technically Battlefield 1 is set in World War 1, and so it's actually empires. So it's representing each part of the empire that was participating in the war. Plus, the vehicles have no parking brakes. You park that on a hill, you're rolling. What? I didn't even notice that. that reminds me of fucking Helldivers, though. I think only Battlefield Bad Company 2 had faces uncovered on at least some of the classes over the modern games. Yeah, maybe. That was a while ago. I'm trying to remember Bad Company 2, what it looked like. But yeah, so that's my overall opinion. I think Battlefield 6 is on its way to becoming probably an actually strong release. The big thing here is the campaign going to be worth it that they're developing for it? Is it going to reach EA's outlandish fucking expectations of how many players do they want?
Let me check. EA expectations.
It's like,
aiming for 100 million players.
That seems a bit outlandish, if you ask me. What was the beta's all-time peak on Steam? It's from the Steam charts.
BF6 all-time.
They want 100 million copies sold across all platforms. That includes Xbox, that includes PlayStation, that's going to include
PC. The highest all-time peak for the beta was 521,000.
525,000. So let's factor in. Let's say that
you said 100 million people.
I said 500. They want 100 million copies.
They want to sell 100 million copies, apparently.
3 times more than the series bestseller.
And that was Battlefield 1, wasn't it?
Well, let me check.
Battlefield 1 came out in what we call the perfect storm.
I don't think Battlefield 1.
It's one of the best-selling Battlefields. I'm pretty sure. It's mostly because of what Call of Duty was doing, and so the market was super starved. And Battlefield 1 came out, in a starved market and basically dominated.
So
if I remember right.
basically, yeah, the starving dog will go after the bone, even if it's not exactly what they want.
Yep, and so Battlefield 1 obliterated like everybody on the competition scene. I'm pretty sure, anyways. What's the #1 selling Battlefield? Look it up.
I'm looking. It's not giving me a straight answer. Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure it's
Rockets
Battlefield
through.
1. It outclassed Bad Company by fucking leagues. It outclassed fucking Battlefield 3 and 4 by leagues. I'm pretty sure
Battlefield. Okay, so Battlefield 1 did 25 million players.
Yep, which means 25 million units at least.
7.3. Battlefield 3, 17 million. Battlefield 4 was almost 15 million. But again, that's 4 times as many players as Battlefield 1.
Yeah, and Battlefield 1 was the peak of the franchise. It also came out in a perfect storm. So let's repicture the scene of Battlefield 1.
25 million for Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1 comes out in a time in which Call of Duty is really fucking floundering poorly. Nobody wants what Call of Duty's offering. They're wanting a serious war game that's like gritty and dark. Battlefield 1 provides that experience. It gets 25 million sales, over 25 million sales, and probably has a lot more now, especially because it goes on sale for $1.99 for the Revolution Edition, by the way. Every time it goes on sale. It's fucking nuts how cheap it is.
At the very least, they do reduce the cost of these games significantly.
Once
way further down in their life cycle.
Once they move past this one of the older Battlefields, they go down to like $2. Now, one of my biggest complaints about EA is that they've delisted 1942, they've delisted Battlefield 2, and they delisted Battlefield Bad Company 1 and Bad Company 2, including its expansion, Vietnam. Which is kind of one of those things, like, I don't like that they delist it, because it's just like, oh my god, why? I know that they're like, oh, it's going to magically drive up sales for the new Battlefield. That's not how that works. You know what I'm going to go do if I want to play those games? I'm going to go and fucking like torrent it and shit. That's what's gonna happen. Like you just mean that you just lost a sale is what you did, you idiots. Ugh, you idiots. You could still make money with old games. I don't understand why companies are so stupid. So stupid. Battlefield 1 still sells like hotcakes every year. So does Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA, mind you. It still sells very high numbers during like seasonal sales. And they still sell Titanfall 2. Those games are old, and they've been all basically but abandoned, but they still sell really, really well. I don't get it. It's so stupid, so stupid. But yeah, so they're basically pining the current Call of Duty climate for the Black Ops scene, because that was the last one that came out, I think, right? Black Ops 6, right? Is the one they're competing with? Because that's what they're going to be competing with.
Black Ops 6 is coming out soon.
Oh, it's not out yet? Okay.
Let me see. Black Ops 6. Here, let me see. No, it was released on October 25th, 2024. So last year.
Okay.
About a year from now.
So they're going to be competing with that, unless they drop another Call of Duty.
It came out last year.
Yep, but they're still competing with it.
But COD players drop the game they play for years and then move on to the next one.
Yep, but that's the Call of Duty they're competing with market wise.
What is the player base of Black Ops 6 doing right now?
I have no idea. I would assume it's doing probably well on consoles, but I'm not entirely sure. It's the Warzone thing that I think that has a lot of people in it.
The recent reviews for Black Ops 6 are horrific.
Yeah, not surprising.
Let's see here, Community Hub. The current player base for PC Black Ops 6 is 57,000. Not terrible.
For a shooter, that's actually pretty good. How's the player base for 2042 Battlefield right now?
Let me look.
I imagine that's not good, because that was considered a bit of a black sheep of the franchise so far. Along with 5 and 2042 were bad.
It's also extremely negative right now. 4,000 players.
Ooh. Okay, so yeah. Yeah. 2042 was really bad. Well. It's also abandoned. They did not give it a lot of content support before they ditched it. So yeah, I think the big thing here is that I think Battlefield 6 is probably going to snuff out the market for Call of Duty. The question is, will Battlefield 6 survive the upcoming COD game? And that's up to the content support for this, because how this is releasing, they're not releasing competing directly. I don't think there's another Call of Duty game on the horizon, is there? But they need to survive the upcoming COD game, because there will be a COD game coming soon, because normally they're bi-yearly, usually. Bi-yearly, maybe even tri-yearly. But then they're going to need to make sure that Battlefield 6 is not outcompeted by that when it comes out, because they want to. It's about dominating the market and the player's attention time.
Generically, Black Ops 7 is anticipated for 2025. Late 2025.
So they will have competition later this year for 6 then. They might even actually be launching around the same window if it's later. Because Battlefield 6 is slated to launch in 2 months' time. So that means that looks like there's going to be another showdown between Call of Duty and Battlefield, just like there was before. That's going to be a pretty big deal.
Do they really want a showdown as the thing?
Battlefield? Yes. I mean, if this is anything like what would happen with Battlefield 1 fucking curb stomped like Call of Duty like it was a fucking orphan. It was a fucking orphan. Not only did it dominate the market, but it set the fucking record for what people were interested in as far as like first-person shooters. Because 25 million sales, which is nuts. 100 million sales. I just can't fathom that they're setting such lofty expectations. Is that even achievable?
No.
No.
It looks good in a board meeting, though.
It's 100 million sales for a game that's $70. Like, even if you charge 60, you're still fucking like, it ain't gonna happen. It's like, that's just my worry with that sort of mentality behind the board meeting stuff is that that's setting absurd expectations like they did with Dead Space, which is why Dead Space isn't with us anymore.
To bring up Dead Space as well, as that sounds very reminiscent of market goals they wanted for Dead Space.
They set the market goals for Dead Space, the entire franchise, to compete exactly tooth and nail for Resident Evil, which is an established franchise.
Let's go over the games that actually have that kind of sales record, right? So just Minecraft, for example, with 300 million. And
cultural shock game. That's what that is.
I don't think Battlefield 6 is going to be anywhere near as relevant as Minecraft is, and currently continues to be.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5 at 200 million, which is also a cultural shock game.
Yep. Look at Halo 3. Let's find out. And
Tetris at 100 million, with Wii Sports at 82 and PUBG at 75.
That's a console exclusive. That couldn't have been too high.
No. What was the game you said, Bucky?
Halo 3.
Halo 3.
It sold 14.5 million copies. Damn. That's for a console exclusive.
Impact. But think about the cultural impact of Halo. And it only got that much.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing with Halo is it also had like a story and a universe. And so what is Battlefield going to have that's going to have that sort of impact? For me, it's going to be people are just going to be... It's just about shooting each other, and that's about it.
Yep. Like with Halo 3, everyone was wrapped up in the
story.
Sensation of the campaign. Like so many people, it's like finishing the fight.
Yes, it was a big conclusion to this epic saga that had spanned it had saved the original Xbox as a console from being literally like dead, and it managed to basically get Microsoft into the console wars, into the 7th gen, and basically solidified their domination of 7th gen. 6th gen, Microsoft held on. 7th gen, Microsoft dominated. So yeah, Halo is a big deal.
Mindful of the fact that Halo 3 came out in 2007. And that was when games were still considered nerdy, you know?
They were pretty commonplace by 2007.
They were, but not as much as they were in the 2010s. Is what I'm trying to say.
So like in high school, I could just remember even the girls like if you wanted to like hang out with them or whatever, you'd invite them over to play games and stuff. That was just a thing you did back then. That was kind of the 2000s, like 2000s, like 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, all the way up, even more in like 8, 9, and 10, and then 11 and 12, it peaked. Like that's also when I graduated, but like everybody was playing World of Warcraft. Everyone.
Well, that's if you say games, you mean World of Warcraft.
Yeah, no, not just that. Like they play World of Warcraft. Girls also play Sims and stuff. Sims is one of the big ones. A Harvest
girl
Moon,
games.
if they had a Wii, would be a big one. Yeah, those are a thing. Girl games do exist. Girls like different games than men.
Yeah. But like you're saying games, like it's like I don't think
It's a specific
were girls
genre.
super into Halo. I don't think so.
A couple.
Some were, but on average, it was mostly dudes.
On average, yes.
Yeah.
The girls that would usually play Halo or Halo Reach at that time were usually tomboys, and that's what made them so awesome. Just like, oh my god.
Tomboys are alike, Gibbs. You know.
They're not. They're tomboys. Hold on.
I've
So,
seen one.
as somebody who's dated tomboy, I can tell you. Here's how it works, right? First,
aren't all your
listen.
girlfriends crazy though?
Yes, but the big thing is that so they're a tomboy until you date them, and then that switch gets flipped off. It's a ruse, it's a
Damn.
trap. It's a trap.
Then they're not a tomboy. They're a liar. They're a
Deceitful.
Hold on. Are
Deceitful.
you saying at that point that they're a trap?
mimic.
Yeah, pretty much, but girl form. So the tomboy trait is actually called the honeypot. All right, it's to deceive you. It's how to catch
He
you.
looks at you. Gibbs looks at you. Don't believe your lying eyes.
Don't believe your lying eyes.
Gibb is literally a tomboy. No, says Indio.
And I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. Tomboys are basically black widows, actually. This is how you should be looking at them. They'll kill you.
Why would they kill you?
What did you want to do, Prey Mantis, then?
Whatever. Same thing. Same thing.
Oh, I'm looking over in the dev server. Robin made something pretty cool that you should. Oh wait, no. Is this just a sticker? That's a sticker. Never mind.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's the mystery of the druids, but it's you as the druid.
I have no idea what they're talking about in there.
I'm just gonna send it. Post it in the fucking VC room. Funny as shit.
All I know is they're waiting to meet Bon, apparently. But yeah, so Battlefield 6 is shaping up to be pretty good. I think it's got a lot of potential here.
Is there supposed to be a meeting for her right now?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like later or whenever.
Yeah, I
Chumpa
think
said
it's
something.
probably going to be later.
Yeah. Then I guess they're just sitting in there for no reason then. I don't know, they're probably going over Trello.
Master Morty says his biggest problem with Battlefield 6 is the maps aren't shaping up so well so far.
Yeah, like I like the gunplay and the gameplay. The more I get used to it, I'm actually starting to
That's
kill
why-
a lot of people. Like after yesterday,
Yeah.
yesterday is like, okay, now I'm starting to see positive KDs. I'm also topping in first place multiple games now. So I'm like finally getting back in the groove. It took a
It's
while.
why I've said I'm going to be interested to see when they actually release like mid to large size maps to see how things shake out at that point. Because I think the issue we have right now is just the maps are so tiny and so claustrophobic.
I want them to stop auto spotting the fucking snipers. Make them more useful.
Spot Bucky. Black Bucky, good. He's like, oh. BF6, did we get anything new? Yes, we did. The healing mechanics, you can drag people back now. You also get,
Yeah, anyone can revive someone that's downed and wasn't like shot in the head, but medics do it faster.
well, you can revive anyone in your squad by dragging them. You can't revive randoms doing that. Your
Is that
own
how
squad.
that works?
Yep.
Okay, I thought anyone
Medics
could
can
do it.
revive anybody. At least I'm pretty
And
sure.
they also have the defib.
Yeah. Getting started $5 says how many hours of speech fund are we never going to get? Millions, presumably. What about substituting speech funds for? No, not doing that. Thank you for the donation. Very generous. SF, Clam, and Pilk. You're gonna drink Pilk when I'm done with you, boy. It's like, oh, thirsty.
But Gibbs, you're the one drinking pill. It's
So, yeah.
in the thing.
Battlefield 6 shaping up to be nice. It's looking good. Only time's gonna really tell if this is actually gonna go the way it should. It's on a good trajectory this time around. Better than Battlefield 2042, which was kind of awful. It's probably the best beta I think they've ever done for this game, or this franchise, I guess.
Yep, and again, it is actually very stable even on older hardware.
But yeah, my big concern is maps. The maps
Yes,
kind of all
I
feel
agree.
samey, except for that one map with the ridge. They really need to do something different there. But we'll find out on launch because we'll be streaming it on launch. Oh
But
boy.
yeah. Stability seems to be good. The guns might need a bit of tweaking, but that might also just, again, be down to the small map size.
I spent $5 in Battlefield 2042 and I still feel scammed.
If you want to play a modern Battlefield, that's good. Battlefield 1 is actually pretty good. It's not, it's, how do I put this? Everyone always focuses on the fact that World War 1, they're using experimental guns. Okay, so firstly, you're dumb. Secondly, you need to start realizing that Battlefield games are Battlefield games. They're fucking arcadey, and they always have been. They've never been mil sims. I don't know where this illusion comes from. I played 1942. I played Battlefield 2. I've been a part of this fucking franchise since I was a little kid. It's never been a mil sim. Yeah,
Why can't it be armed?
That's honestly that. So it was weird that Battlefield 1 got that treatment and like none of the other ones.
No,
The actual issue is, Kips, is that
I know why.
they want the aesthetic and they want the part of the aesthetic that they're looking for, which is World War One.
Yeah,
and they're not getting World War One; they're getting World War Two.
It's also they focused a lot on the single player stuff, so that really set people's expectations.
Battlefield 1 isn't too full of cheaters. All you got to do is just play on a private server, and you should be fine. We played it literally last year, and it was fine.
Fine.
That's why there's so much hatred about like the cyborgs and all that, is because of the expectation they set with the marketing material.
You say cyborgs?
Pretty sure it's Battlefield 5 that included the woman with the cyborg.
Yeah.
Wasn't that? No, I thought that was.
What?
No, one is
good.
The historical trailer.
1 is
5 is the one with the
1 is literally
weird wokeness.
the best Battlefield that was ever made.
Thing that plows through the house with the fucking horse head on it.
The guy with the samurai sword for some fucking reason.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that happened.
That was in Battlefield 5. That's why
You should go look at it, Gibbs.
Trailer, Gibbs. I've showed you the trailer. We watched the trailer on here.
If that's the one I'm thinking of, yes, that one was why people were kind of upset.
Beach funds were free hashtags, Genghis. Those went towards actual real things. And honestly, we weren't doing those anymore because chat already wanted us not to. So we're done with those. All right, so that's going to probably wrap up today's stream, I think. And then we'll move on to glorious, fantastic, wonderful game I can't remember the name of. It's not called Overdrive.
Outriders.
Outriders. I don't know why I thought it was called Overdrive for a
Yeah, you know, the other thing.
You're thinking of a better game.
Yeah, so that wraps up the Bunchcast chat. It was a shorter Bunchcast this week because several people didn't show up. But yeah.
Their names were Hands, and Hands.
That's true.
That's nice.
We'll see you in the next stream chat. Goodbye.